Good to see you, Nick. A little late to the party.
Oh, I've been muted this whole time.
Yeah, you have.
I can't hear you either.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you. My volume was off as we were doing the other show.
Yeah.
All right, I think I'm good now.
All right. Let's get myself situated here. Nick, you're going to be ahead of me because that's just what you are always.
I can pause you. I can pause it up.
I'll get it paused up. Hold on a second. I got Nick Senzel stepping the plate on an 0-1 count. Taps the plate, points the bat towards the pitcher.
I just saw that pitch.
Wind in the pitch, swing, and a foul ball.
All right. I'm gonna pause it on the right after the 0-2 happens. So let me know when the 0-2 happens.
0-2. Okay. They're showing the guy comes set. He comes set. Wind the pitch. Ball. Strike. Strike 3.
Yep. All right, we should be close.
Well, here's what I was asking you, Nick, the other day. I'm curious as to what people. I mean, this is my only thought about having some lefties in the bullpen if you don't have lefties against the Reds is like if you just bring in a bullpen arm left-hander against Votto and Fraley, I guess even Benson in like the middle innings. What inning cutoff do you think until he's going to hit Votto here? Okay, but what inning do you think they start to do the splits thing?
Do you mean David Bell? When did David
Bell
Bell decide to do that?
Yeah.
I don't think David Bell's going to pinch hit Joey Votto unless he feels like it's a dire situation like it was on Sunday.
Okay.
I would say like Benson Fraley, probably like the 6th.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, I did not feel good. Mouse Cop, I just want to let you know that the cup, there's no significance to it for me. I mean, I know that it's a UC cup, but it's not like it's it's a cup. There's no allegiance here.
I also think that I know there was a lot of contention last night. Why aren't you pinch hitting for Kevin Newman? The Reds were down like 4 runs, I think, or 3 runs or something like that. I think David Bell also probably like he doesn't like he's not going to pinch hit if he feels like it's not a huge swing or like the game's probably not going to be altered. I think like when you have Kevin Newman in there, you're like, hey, we're down 4 runs. Our win probability is 4%. I'm not just going to pinch it for Kevin Newman. I'm just going to let him ride out this game. He knows that the next 6 days are all against right-handed pitchers. I mean, I just think there's like so many, factors that go into that. But yeah, it is interesting when you do these platoon lineups is if it's like a close game, when do you make the move? Because you don't want to be, caught sleeping later in the game. And when the Orioles have 4 left-handed relievers, you're in a much different situation. Reds just faced the Astros, and they didn't have a single left-handed reliever. So it's all about the opponent too. We have to earn that paycheck.
Oh.
Wow. We'll take it. That was a great pitch from old Perez.
Well, it didn't help the catcher didn't catch the ball, but boy, did that get him. Boy, did he buckled them knees, didn't it?
Yeah. Just raising that on base percentage against lefties, though.
Sean, the website for the merch doesn't have the merch yet. Then the merch is gonna become available Friday evening. The merch will become available, and that's when you can get the Chatterbox Reds night tickets as well. It's gonna be the deal is gonna be if you spend $200, you get the ticket for free, but the ticket's gonna cost $100. So when you add the ticket in, it's going to take your $100 in merch up to $200, but then it's going to take the $100 right back off. Don't ask me why we have to do it that way. That's just the way the software works. So that is the case. So It's not really $200, to be clear. It's not really $200. It's to buy the ticket itself is $100. Comes with a buffet and two meal tickets. That's what it costs us. But what I'm saying is that if you purchase $100 in merch and then you put the ticket in there with it, it makes it $200, which will give you $100 off. I know that's confusing, but that's the way it's got to go. It's $100 total, to be clear. Just being clear, it's $100 total.
All right, Diaz time.
Yeah, we need it. We got Chevrolet commercials now. Mr. One.
Where we at? Diaz threw 21 pitches back on Sunday. Only threw 8 pitches on Friday. And then I think they start game before. That was the second game of the Rocky series. So this is probably close to the freshest Alexis has been in a while, I would think.
Yeah. This kind of feels like, what's the right term to use? This kind of feels like the getaway day, I think, in St. Louis right now. Like it, or maybe it was a Saturday. I don't know. It felt like I don't want to say this is a must win, but it feels close to it. It's feels close to it.
Yeah, I mean, this is when you need. I mean, changes your whole week. If you win or lose this game potentially. So yeah, no, I'm with you.
I don't mean to put bad onus on Jeff or Jake Sweeney by any means, but listen, they did do a big deal with Moustakas. Hunter Green did just start doing something with him. Something to think about, chat. Something to keep in mind.
Trace conspiracy after dark.
I'm just throwing it out there. Man, imagine the fact that you could have had Moustakas or Castellanos and you chose Moustakas. Tough.
Moustakas or Castellanos.
When they both got signed for the Reds, they had a choice between probably picking which one they wanted to have, their main spokesman.
Oh, yeah.
And then they went with Moose. Yeah,
that's a tough scene. That is a tough.
Those Laura's Lean commercials are something. All right, come on. I know we're probably behind the chat. I can't really watch chat because I know that Mouse Cop is going to be on it play by play. I can't do that. I gotta minimize you. I'm sorry about it.
It's a tough 6-hole hitter. He's only hitting 6 because lefty was on the mound. This is their normal leadoff hitter against right-handed pitcher. So
he's a good player. He could bunt if he wanted to. Oh no, not this again, dude. Okay, look at that. Look at all the. I mean, I know I sound like an old person by saying bunt, but my gosh,
not everyone's TJ Friedel.
I know not everyone can bunt like that, but goodness gracious, just a little bit, you'd be good.
Deja vu, give us the play-by-play. I can't watch. All right, we'll try to. And then the 1-1 pitch is fouled away. It's 1-2. Alexis Diaz.
Is that your broadcasting voice? Your little raspy old radio?
Yeah. Maybe I'll just give you the updates of what happens. Well, Mouse Cop is just going to tell us before, so I can't. Sorry, I can't look.
Yeah.
And maybe Mouse Cop's trolling us. See, this is the problem with the chat.
Don't watch the chat, Nick. Don't do it.
I know I'm not. I'm looking away, but I can't even. You guys,
Diaz
you kill it.
with the 2-2.
There's a strikeout.
Swing and a miss by Cedric Mullins, and that'll be the first out of the last 3 outs for the Baltimore Orioles on a rain-filled night, Nick. Good pitch, man. Come on, Alexis. Let's do this. Let's do this thing. It's a good pitch. Man, the Orioles got such good-looking helmets, man. Damn it. Oh, we got a guy there.
We got Nick Senzel there.
We got a guy there.
Nick Senzel.
Just ball right at him. We got 2 away. Let him know how many we got, chat. Let him know. Love it.
2 down. The batter will be, is this Ryan O'Hearn? No. Yeah, Ryan O'Hearn. The old dog.
Those strikes.
And this is tough. This is a sneaky tough, but this is their cleanup hitter. They're
Strikes.
all out of whack because of the start against Abbott today. But yeah, I mean, you had to face their typical leadoff hitter, their typical cleanoff hitter in the 9th. So a little more challenging.
Strikes. That's what we're talking about.
There it is.
Nick, when you watch a game, how much people watching do you do in the background of a like behind the dugout or the backstop?
Not a lot. There you go. Beautiful. I mean, honestly, I'm doing like 80,000 things when we're watching a game, so
gotcha.
It's hard enough just to.
Well, I know. I'm just saying in general.
If I was just casually,
yeah.
I don't know. It depends on how intense the game is.
Okay.
I would say. I see some Reds fans there, though.
I like that.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I tell you what, Trace. I went to Fenway last year, and the Reds were obviously not very good last year. Really bad last year. And there was a ton of Reds fans there. It was pretty cool.
Oh. No, that didn't hit him. Nick, tell me it didn't hit him.
Wow. What the hell, man?
We're not holding him on, Joey. No, we're not holding him on. Don't tell me it hit him. It hit him. Son of a... Okay. All right. Just going to get this last out.
Dude, there's 186 people watching this, and we had to start a new stream. You guys are incredible.
Yes, sir.
What, man.
What? He didn't go, Nick. Come on. Adam Frazier, let's just make this last out. You can get on with your day. We'll get on with ours, brother. Make a deal.
Boom. Can't touch that cheese.
What the hell just happened? Throw him out. Throw him out. Throw him out. Throw him out. What the fuck are you? Sorry, kids show. Alexis, throw the ball to the guy at second base, brother.
What just happened?
I don't.
I mean,
it's fine. Let's go back to throw back to
runs.
Back to what we're doing.
Really matter, but
he's irrelevant. But he's relevant because he's the last out. And he just was walking around with a base pass like a dumb kid. Kid show.
I mean, for that video you played on the rain delay, I don't know if there's
it's always a kid show. It's a kid show. This is a new stream. It's a new kid show.
There you go. That's the swing I want to see, Adam. That's a beautiful cut.
Oh, that was so disgusting. I cannot believe that just happened to me.
It's all right. Lexus has got this. Lexus has got this under control. Ooh. What was that? You hope that dumb situation didn't get in his head,
I mean, yeah, I hope not, but golly day, I don't know what he was waiting on. He was running after the runner. It looked like he was trying to run him down in a rundown, forcing him to go one way or the other. It's like, dude, just throw the ball to Matt McLean, brother, man. Oh well, we're moving on. Come on, my gosh. Every night, dude. It's every night, brother.
Never easy.
It's just like just 1, 2, 3, one time. This guy was just handing us an out.
Who's this cat?
I don't know. Just throw those sliders, like slide. Not inside like that, personally. God, look at that outfield. A lot of green grass. Right at him. That ball's caught.
Ball game. Reds win. Oh, Reds win.
That's the best thing I've ever heard Nick Kirby do. Nick, let's do a show, baby.
High drive, left center field, racing back to the wall, Bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? He did! Reds win! Line to the right field. Genius, the first Red ever with 4 home runs in a game. Can you believe it? In the air, down the right field line. Does it have a chance? The Reds have won on a 3-run home run on opening day by Ramon Hernandez. A strike away and out away is Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first. And Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed a no-hitter. Oh, gosh. Oh, are you kidding me? Holy Moses, the second player in major league history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. In the air, and the Reds win. What a dream beginning to the career of Jay Bruce.
Nick, the good guys are back in the win column. The Cincinnati Reds defeat the Baltimore Orioles 3-1 on another rainy night in Baltimore. And I got to tell you, this is one of those games that felt like it was getting a little bit ugly towards the end. Fortunately for Diaz, he does what he always does. He closes it down. We got in the rundown as usual. The big start by Andrew Abbott. Matt McBang, as Kirby puts in the rundown. TJ Friedel. Reds bullpen with another question mark on it. Well, that question mark should get erased at this point. And, of course, we'll have the box score recap as always. As a reminder, if you're just coming into the stream, please like the stream. More likes we get, better chance we have to win tomorrow. That's how this whole thing works. And I think more importantly, Nick, it just feels like the monkey has gotten off our back a little bit. I know we just won a bunch of games in a row. We shouldn't feel that way. But it started to trend in that direction. You start to look at tomorrow's starters and you start to look at the starting pitching as a whole, and you think to yourself, well, we probably should win when Andrew Abbott throws, or if we don't, we might be in trouble. Thankfully, we did.
Reds are in first place, Trace.
I know. Earlier the day, I thought that the Reds were, quite frankly, maybe the worst franchise in baseball again.
Appears that is inaccurate, as sometimes it happens to be portrayed on the Bluebird app. Are you ready for a box score recap?
I've never been more ready.
All right. Bottom of the second, Baltimore Orioles got on the board first as Andrew Abbott allowed a walk, a single, and a sac fly. It was only 1-0 Orioles going into the fourth. Orioles starting pitcher Tyler Wells retired the first 9 batters in order on just 37 pitches. But with 2 strikes, T.J. Friedel laid down a perfect, and I mean perfect, bunt with the defense playing back. That gave the Reds their first base runner of the game. And then Matt McLean followed that up with a 2-strike, 401-foot double, 108.8 off the bat, scoring Friedel, tying the ball game up at 1. We move to the top of the 6th. Matt McLean leadoff solo home run to center field, just 1 foot further than his double at 402 feet. That made it 2-1 Reds, and Andrew Abbott struggled a little bit with command earlier, but then he settled in and pitched an absolute gem. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. Through 106 pitches, only allowed 4 hard hit balls all night. But it was still tight ball game going down the stretch. In the top of the 7th, Lucas Sims got a tough strike zone, but he battled through it with the help of a big-time throw by Luke Maley to get Cedric Mullins sealing. It was on a pitch out, but Mullins, who came in 13 for 15 in solo base attempts, got a really great jump, but didn't matter to Luke Maley. Threw a rocket to get him out. And then for a second straight day, we were in a rain delay, and we had a lot of fun chatting on Twitter Spaces and hanging out with you. But when we came back, T.J. Friedel greeted the Baltimore Orioles with a solo home run, his 5th of the season. That made it 3-1 Reds. Buck Farmer was nails in the 8th. Alexis Diaz, a little dicey in the 9th, but once again, Alexis Diaz gets it done. Your Cincinnati Reds, Trace, are back in first place in the National League Central Division. What a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive. Kyle, thank you for the super chat. Said Reds win. Trace, I'll drink Coors Light to that. Well, my man, you drink whatever it is. I hope the mountains are blue. Andrew Abbott. This guy has been about as good as one could possibly hope, and it seems like every single time we talk about a rookie on this baseball team, that's the word and the phrase that we always use. Every single time. I don't say it can't get much better, because I've been saying that about McLean for a while. He just keeps doing incredible stuff. But Andrew Abbott, boy, does he not look the part. Let's just hope that, knock on wood, he stays healthy and he continues to give us quality innings because we need him right now. This was maybe, is this a little too far of a stretch? Am I a prisoner of the moment right now by saying that Andrew Abbott just threw the most clutch starting pitching performance of the year?
It's possible. I have to think about it a little bit more, but it's certainly up there. And, he battled a little bit with command early, but, man, once he settled in, he was just dominant. And I know we've been saying Andrew Abbott is the ace of the staff because guys are out. I'll say it, he might be the ace of the staff if everyone's healthy right now, the way he's pitching.
I can't agree more. Bamboo Shoot in the chat said Andrew Abbott, the pride of Sobo, Virginia. Nick brought that up the other night. He brought that up yesterday. Virginia kid. Probably has some close ties there around the Baltimore area. Probably had a lot of good, I would say a decent amount of family members there. I'm happy to see that he threw well in front of his folks that love him the most. And shout out to Sobo, Virginia. So good for Andrew Abbott. Anything else to add on Abbott? I mean, he's just been incredible. He looks the part. He feels the part. I don't think his stuff is like, the crazy thing, he's got good stuff. But he's not like, oh my God, this guy's throwing like 98 miles an hour. He's got a cutter or a sinker that's just incredibly nasty. Nope, he just spots his pitches, can throw multiple pitches for strikes, and he just looks like a veteran. He looks like a veteran.
It's a good Orioles lineup. They may not have all the household names, but if you look at their stats, this is probably a top 10 lineup in baseball. Andrew Abbott only allowed 2 hits, struck out 8 batters, man. And this is also a team that doesn't strike out a ton. They're a really solid team at putting the ball in play. They look great. I mean, he's got a 1.21 ERA through 5 starts. Like, just unbelievable how he's just stepped in, and it's not just he stepped in the middle of a playoff chase, which the Reds are in. He stepped in and had to be like the ace right off the bat, and he's pitched as well. It's awesome to see. Reds have really drafted well of late. That's been a thing that was a major issue for years. It's part of the reason that the Reds have not been very good for a long time, but they're starting to really turn it around with guys like Andrew Abbott, Jonathan India, and others, and plenty in the farm system about to get here.
Sean Hayes says Abbott reminds me of Tom Browning. He reminds me of Tom Glavine. I gotta be frank. He does. He's just a solid arm, man. Looks good. Now, again, he's only thrown a few times, so I'm not trying to compare him to Glavine. Not trying to say he's going to have that great of a career. I hope he does, but it's, I don't want to try to throw guys into crazy comps. Anything else to add for Andrew before we move on to Matt?
Just incredible stuff. I don't know what to say, man. This isn't normal. It's not normal what he's doing. It's not normal what the next guy we're going to talk about is doing either.
Yeah, Matt McLain's incredible, man. Incredible. I just, is he the best baseball player on this team right now? Feels like it.
At this very moment,
feels like it.
Case. I mean, yeah.
Feels like it. I mean, De La Cruz obviously is unbelievably talented. I said he's the best baseball player I've ever seen, De La Cruz. And what I meant by that was just like this guy has every single tool you could possibly ever imagine. And, again, I still stand on that with Ellie. But Matt McLain, I really think that this team turned a corner when he got called up. Outside of them getting swept by the Yankees, I believe, they've really not had too many falters or missteps since he's been brought up. And I think he helped fill a void and a hole that was a huge hole for this baseball team when he got called up. We did not have a shortstop before he got here. Barrera was struggling mightily. Kevin Newman was struggling mightily. And Matt McLain came up here as a rookie, took that role on, hit the ground running, and he's been unbelievable ever since. And I give him just as much credit, if not more credit, than anybody on this baseball team as to why the Reds are in the position that they're in. Yes, it takes a team. This isn't an individualized sport. I get it. But Matt McLain, if you had to put me up against it outside of Alexis Diaz making the All-Star game, Matt McLain, I think, for me, is the next guy in line.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue to that. I think the most impressive thing about Matt McLain is that he came up and was on fire right off the bat. Had a little bit of a struggle, which a Matt McLain struggle, as I mentioned yesterday, is not really all that big of a deal. He wasn't like terrible by any means, but he struggled a little bit, and then he made adjustments, and he's right back at it. His adjustment period was like this much. It was tiny. There was no adjustment period, and he's just been incredible. 321 average, 930 OPS, and he's played a lot of games at this point. How long's he been up? Month and a half?
Yeah, I can give you the at-bats in a minute. Yeah, I mean, incredible. 2 for 4 with a double and a home run tonight. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's been better than what you could ever imagine. Steer, another guy that's been rock solid. TJ Friedel, another guy that's been rock solid. Fraley has had big moments this year. Jonathan India's obviously had his moments this year. This team has good players. It's just a matter of continuing to be consistent. That's the question. Can this team be consistent for the rest of the year? They've been consistent so far. Will they have a drop-off? Because there's been years past, and I say multiple years past, to where, it's one of those things where you said it before. Some guys can struggle. We just can't have everybody struggle at the same time, right?
Well, yeah, and like, look back to like 2019 or 2009 when you had Jay Bruce coming up. He's obviously the player that everyone goes to when we're talking about hot streaks and all that kind of stuff. You had Jay Bruce, you had Joey Votto, and you had Brandon Phillips. And then you had a lot of fillers. There wasn't none of these guys like Paul Yanish, all due respect, Adam Rosales, Lance Nix, Willie Tavares, Jerry Hairston Jr., Johnny Gomes. Like, these weren't top prospects that you're coming in filling in. The players of the Reds are filling in around their Jay Bruce or their Ellie De La Cruz are bona fide young prospect with star potential. And I think that's what makes this team a lot different than maybe any Reds team that I can ever remember, is that 1 through 9, the upside 1 through 9 is just incredible. There's not a guy other than, Joey Votto at the end of his career that you're not expecting to get better than what they're at right now. Now, obviously, that Matt McLain and his numbers isn't going to produce that, but you're expecting over the course of time these guys to continue to get better, and that's just what makes, I think, this team so exciting.
That's fair. I agree. And Matt McLain has 161 at bats so far this year. So 51 hits, slashing 317, 375, 528, OPS of 903, OPS plus of 136.
It's like rookie video game numbers. Like, you bring up your rookie and
unbelievably incredible. Yeah. Unbelievably incredible. Someone brings out the point, how does Baltimore only have 14,000 fans tonight? I mean, I'd assume it's because of the rain. It's like that has to be
it was
what
ugly.
It is. So we'll give them a pass on that. I'll say something else that's wild. Ellie's probably going to be that guy, but for me, Matt McLain's been the best shortstop that I've seen since I've started watching the Reds. So
the small sample, which I
know it's small. I know it's small. But it is small.
But they agree with you. 79th percentile and outs above average coming into today. Now, that's not enough to make anything conclusive, but what you're seeing to this point is backed up by statistics. So yeah, I mean, I did not expect him to be this good defensively. That one play that he made where he had to readjust early in the game, thought it was going to be a double play. I think the runner was going, he adjusted. Right. He didn't make a great throw to Joey Votto. Joey Votto made a great scoop on it. But nonetheless, for him to get it out that quickly, that was really impressive. And I think it was a big play in the game.
Yeah, let me clear something up for the chat and the people in the podcast that are losing their minds right now on me. I did not get a chance to watch Barry Larkin. I'm too. I guess I'm just saying I'm too young to watch Barry Larkin. I was born in '89, so I probably really didn't actually watch meaningful baseball until the first memories I have of watching the Reds and being able to actually remember what was going on was probably the 1999 team a little bit, but even that was a little fuzzy. So yeah, just to be clear, Barry Larkin was not a part of my thought process there. It was more along the lines of Zach Cozart, Alex Gonzalez, those types of players. So go ahead.
And a point to the comment in the chat about the attendance. Yeah, I do agree. Like, today was probably rain, but the Reds are ahead of Baltimore in attendance, and Baltimore's been good all year. They've been consistently good all year. And the Reds, obviously, that attendance number we expect is probably going to end up being a lot better by the end of the year, because the Reds started out as slow as you possibly could, and they've, obviously had the big weekend last weekend. We'll see what happens this weekend, but yeah, the Reds are ahead of the Orioles. That does kind of stink for Baltimore. They were above 500 last year. They've been good out of the gates. So,
right.
I think that also speaks some volumes of Cincinnati.
Yeah, it does. I mean, listen, we've been starving for a team that's going to win, and if we have a team that's going to win, they're going to show up. To be very clear, listen, I'm telling you, Barry Larkin. I know that people are saying that he played in 2004. I mean, it was very fuzzy for me. I do remember Sean Casey playing a little bit. I do remember Barry Larkin playing a little bit, but again, for my life, I guess is what I'm getting at. For lack of a better term, I did not get to see Barry Larkin play for very long. Go ahead before I move on to Friedel.
There is some serious, like, at least defensively, some like Zach Cozart vibes with the way Matt McLain plays. It's kind of similar. Zach Kozar was really, really good defensively.
Yeah.
He struggled so much offensively early in his career until he picked it up right at the end of his Reds career that I think a lot of people forget. He was really, really good, and he actually if you looked at his wins above replacement, he was hitting one of the worst hitters in baseball and still was putting up 2-3 win seasons because of how good he was defensively. But yeah, McLean kind of feels like that same type player, but can also hit 2 balls 400 feet in the same game.
Yeah. I mean, Matt McLean, Zach Kozart was one of those guys where I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to spend time talking about Zach Kozart. That's for sure. I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater. I know. I'm not a hater of Zach. I always felt like Zach was meh. He's he's all right. All right. A couple things I want to talk about. Maley throwing out the runner. I thought it was also a good tag by India. I think that should be brought up.
Yeah.
And the one thing I've started, it was a tough tag. One thing I started noticing more and more about the replay system that is a good thing, I guess, is that if you miss as a catcher on where you're going to actually throw and miss left, obviously you want to miss right at the bag. We all know that. But even going up the line, more and more up the line, if you throw the ball up the line and if the second baseman shortstop's able to get a tag on the runner, they're out 95% of the time, it feels like. Just because they're so far up the line that it doesn't matter if they tag them on the foot because they're not at the base yet. And the ball actually gets there. It is split seconds, but the ball gets there quicker, and split seconds matter in a game of baseball when it's a matter of split seconds. So I thought the throw was very strong. I thought he got away with the being out of the catcher's box, if we're being completely honest. He was pretty aggressive on that pitch out. Do you think that was big brain thinking by either, I don't want to say Bell, big brain Bell. Do you think Sims was big brain in that, by the way, by throwing over there twice real quick and trying to get him to be a little more aggressive than he normally would be, or no? That's obvious speculation, but
I don't know. I don't have a strong.
They usually don't throw over there twice like that because they know in the back of their mind, they know in the back of their mind that they can't throw over again. It's almost like he threw over there 2 times relatively quickly, in the mindset that they knew that he was going to probably try to run. You throw a pitch out, and Maley jumped out of there faster than anybody I've ever seen on a pitch out. I'm pretty sure that if the hitter would have tried to swing at that pitch, he would have smoked Maley right in the rib cage.
It's an interesting way to think about it. I mean, some of these rules, there is ways to exploit them that really no one's tried yet. That's an interesting thing. You might be able to catch some teams off guard. And Cedric Mullins, like I mentioned in the boxer recap, was 13 of 15 in stolen base attempts this year. So he's been an extremely, and he's been hurt. I think he missed 4 weeks. So that 13 stolen bases is a lot higher per game than maybe you might think. But he's been a very efficient base stealer, and that was a huge play in this game. Huge play.
That was a huge play in this game. This game was kind of goofy because those rain delays, man. They I don't want to say they almost makes you feel like there's 2 different games, but this one was so late in the game that you kind of forget about all the things that happened earlier in the game. TJ Friedel, let's talk about him quickly. He does it all, man. He does it all. I don't know if he's appreciated as much as he should be in this town. You think he is? I mean, I don't think people realize how good he actually is.
I think he's probably he might be the one guy on this team that's maybe the appropriate level of appreciation outside of maybe a few people that go a little bit too far into the StatCast numbers on him. Other than them, I think he's appreciated pretty fairly. He plays a great defense in center field. He gets on base, and he hit his 5th home run of the year. He has a little bit of power for a guy that didn't really have any power at this stage last year. He was a guy that showed absolutely no signs of power. And I know this is really cliche, but he feels like such a smart baseball player. 2 strikes. Hey, I can lay down this bunt. Most players wouldn't have the stones to do that in that spot, but he's like, this guy's playing back. I know I can lay this bunt down. He probably would have got crushed if it went foul, but the guy had a perfect game. So why not take a chance? And maybe that also helped out Matt McClain, because maybe if Friedel doesn't lay down that bunt, the pitcher's like, man, I've done everything I can. This guy lays on a 2-strike bunt, and my defense is played back, and then I make a mistake to Matt McClain, and he crushes it. I mean, those things add up, and boom, just like that, you got a run on the board.
Yep. He does his. Yeah, someone in the chat says he does his job. He does his job. Chris says he does his job. He does.
Captain Chaos.
He does.
I like that.
TJ Friedel does his job. I like that. Are you worried about Ellie at all?
Dude hit for the cycle on Friday. Come on. He played 15 games and hit for the cycle.
I know, but I mean, just in general.
No. I will not waste a second of my life ever worrying about Ellie De La Cruz.
Okay. I don't think I am either. I do think that there's going to be an adjustment period from Ellie. He's going to have to probably try to recognize the breaking balls a little bit better and lay off of them a little bit more than he has. I'm not really worried about it, to be fair. So I just wanted to check in. I mean, he wasn't on the rundown, so I had to do a wellness check on you.
He's still in the box score at the bottom ticker. I always put his stats in there. Ellie's always in there every day on the bottom ticker. Don't have to worry about that. If you're coming in, you need to see what Ellie did. Just wait for the ticker to go all the way around. After you see the Betfred Sportsbook odds, shout out Betfred. Appreciate you. You'll get to Ellie. You'll see what he did. I don't know. They already put Ellie De La Cruz on to win MVP. I mean, I'm not worried about a guy that Betfred is already putting in odds on to win the MVP after he came up in June. Nah. Not
Sounds like a sucker bet to me.
Well, it is, but
fair enough. All right, let's talk about the Reds. The Reds bullpen. Lucas Sims comes in, gets the job done. Buck Farmer comes in, gets the job done. Alexis Diaz comes in, gets the job done. Golly day, man. You know what one thing I will concede when everybody starts screaming and yelling about how, we need to try to win this year because, you never know. You just never know. You never know. It might not be the same next year. You might not get the production out of these guys. Just let's try to win now. Win now, win now. I'm a little concerned that next year that it can't continue to be this good. I don't know, man. Maybe it can, but it just seems wild to me that Buck Farmers looks as good as he looks. Alexis Diaz, we've come to expect him. Lucas Sims looks great. Ian Jabot, there's question marks about Ian Jabot a little bit. Duarte is kind of my guy now. I've kind of taken him under my wing. I'm making him one of my guys.
My guys, love it.
I don't know, man. I love these guys. These freaking bullpen arms, dude. They make it look easier than it is. Well, not always. Not when guys are trying to jog back to first base. When they don't know what the hell's going on in the baseball game, we decide that we let them off the hook because we know we can just get them out anyways. We wanted to get them out the real way, Nick. We didn't want to win on that easy stuff.
That's stinking Alexis Diaz. If he'd just be a little better. He's only 22 for 22 in saves chances this year. Come on, Alexis, pick it up.
On throwing the ball to second base.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of a joke.
I don't know if we're allowed to give praise to Nick Krall, but I will point out that there's not a single player in this bullpen making more than I think $1.75 million this year. So it seems like they did a pretty good job piecing that together. Seems like a pretty good general manager job right there. I don't know. What do I know, though?
You don't know a damn thing, Nick. Clueless.
It's not a thing.
Listen. You root for this team however you want. You love this team however you want. If you want to live every day worried about what's coming tomorrow and worried about why they didn't do something in the offseason and worried about the fact that this team isn't going to be somewhere at the end of the year that you think they should be my guest, man. But it's beautiful weather outside in Southwest Ohio recently. The Reds are in first place. I mean, I have my health. Hopefully you have your health. I just I couldn't imagine being in a spot where you're upset right now. I mean, nobody thinks that the starting pitching thing's perfect. But this is unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. You know what? Let's do this. It's late night, Reds. Let's do this for a minute. You know what? Let's do this. Let's get into it. You know what really pisses me off more than anything is when you have a fandom and or a fan base that always wants to complain about whatever it is to complain about. You want to take the negative side of things. And you know what's funny is that if you're right, you get to hold your hand up and show everybody, look how smart I am. I'm the smartest guy in the room because I told you guys this was never going to work, and guess what? It didn't work. Not to count in the fact that more than likely you could always argue that it's probably going to have a fault at some point because if you don't win the World Series, then something went wrong. Somebody's going to say someone did something that wasn't right. Oh, by the way, just as a reminder, there's a lot of teams that don't win the World Series. So that's just part of it. The second part of it is if you're wrong, then your favorite team's winning. Your favorite team's winning. So you're just like, you know what? Shucks, I was wrong. You know what? They're great. I'm here for it. I'm happy to watch. It's fun to win. All of those things. I just don't quite grasp the concept of always wanting to tear down your own thing that you supposedly love. It doesn't make sense to me. You want to call yourself a realist? You want to call yourself somebody that tells it how it is? Be my guest. Be my guest. But you also, to be a realist, have to show when somebody does a good job. So I just don't want to get us. Put it this way: if I have an effect on a fan base, and you have an effect on a fan base much more than I do per se, but my main point is I'd like to keep things real to a certain extent. I want to talk about hard topics, but I also want to remind everybody that you should enjoy your franchise as much as you possibly can. And the truth of the matter is you shouldn't get mad at, and this is what it reminded me of. Here's the best analogy of the night, I think. It reminds me of the rich kids that are very, very pampered. And all of a sudden, things are going great. You're at Kings Island. Let's use Kings Island. Let's use Disney World, for instance. You're at Disney World, and your parents are wealthy enough to where they can actually get you one of those chauffeurs. They walk you around. They get you on all the rides. And you go on all these rides, and you're just like this 12-game winning streak, and you're just like, oh, man, this is unbelievable. I love all these rides. And they take you to a ride, and then the ride's broken down. Don't be the rich kid and start throwing a temper tantrum and act like Disney World's horrible because one ride's not working. Have a little perspective. And I'm not suggesting that Reds fans are spoiled. I'm using the analogy. That is, you can't have it both ways. You have to try to look at it. And I do think people in the chat are killing me because they said that that's who I am. I don't think so. I don't think that's who I am.
Tomorrow will be the 81st game of the year, so we'll be at the halfway point at the end of the day tomorrow. At 80 games last year, the Reds were 28-52. They're 42-38 right now. Predicted, I think 66 was the over wins. feeling pretty good. The Reds are going to get over that a little bit. Man, it's been an incredible ride. I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I'll continue to enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. And listen, I'm not trying to be a gatekeeper here by any means. Anybody's allowed to be a fan of this team. You can have opinions all you want. It's just that it becomes toxic at some point if everybody sits in a cesspool and starts to always sit here and try to meander and act like everything's horrible all the time. You know, it's like miserable people want other people to be miserable with them. So they try to find as many people as they can to try to draw them in and get as many miserable people around them as they possibly can. And I'm just saying to you, I'm not doing that, man. This team's fun to watch. Does it suck they don't have starting pitching? Possibly. But I would tell you to look on the bright side and just look at the fact that how great this team is and how ahead of schedule they are. We have a lot of dudes on this team that are incredible players, and we're going to have them for quite some time. So enjoy them while they're here. Enjoy them while they're here.
Well, I saw a comment in the chat. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Comment in the chat about all the players the Reds gave away. Who did the Reds give away that you'd still want on this team outside of Luis Castillo?
Sonny
Would you
Gray.
rather have outside those two pitchers, outside of the Abbott and Suarez? Would you want him over anyone in this lineup right now? No. Jesse Winker? Jake Fraley's completely outplayed him. Brandon Drury? You really think he'd be better than someone in this lineup right now? I think you go up and down the list, and I mean, Reds got a lot of these guys right, you know, that they decided to move on from. And yeah, I think they're set. The most exciting part of this is that the Reds are not just 42-38 right now in first place in the National League Central Division. It's that it feels like they're just scratching the surface. And that's what makes it the most exciting to me.
Yeah, that's fair. And you know what? Matt brings up an excellent point. Yeah, you shouldn't police fans. Let fans be fans. That's fine. And you know what? I probably should be the bigger person more likely when people make attacks. Like they make relatively snide remarks. And I you know, it's sad to say, but I just have to remind myself that I live a very privileged life. I live a life that is very nice, and I should just bask in that and focus on that. And I appreciate all of you watching every single night. It just becomes a little toxic at times and tired, if you will, of having to hear people complain about every single thing that this Reds franchise always does. It's never good enough. And I'm just here to say, you know what? The past is the past. It sucks that they haven't won in so long. But I just want to say that I do appreciate what Nick Krall's done. I do appreciate what this outlook and what the future looks like so far. They've finally made a change, in my opinion, on what they've done from a philosophy standpoint on how they go about winning. And I just want to say thank you for that. It's as simple as that. So thank you for watching, too. I mean, I don't want to – there are 250 people watching this right now. Is ridiculous. I love all of you. It is very, very much fun. The chat is incredible. That's why this all makes sense and it works. And we are blessed to have you watch this show. So I don't want it to come off as if I'm trying to be preachy. It just becomes tired sometimes about having to hear about everything always being negative. The frickin' Reds are in first place. I just want to remind everybody that. Number one. Is there anyone in front of you when you're in first place, Nick?
No. There is no one in front of the Cincinnati Reds right now.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
You know what's cool, Trace? Say the Reds did pull this off. You know the way the NL playoffs are set up, the Reds would host the first round, all 3 games.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
That'd be pretty awesome. It was a long season, and I don't necessarily think I'd for sure go like, yep, Reds are going to make the playoffs. I think there's a lot that has to go right for the Reds still. Lots gone right so far. But the fact that it's even a conversation at this point, and a realistic conversation, it's pretty darn cool.
Ohio Man asked a good question. What's the win total for the Reds at this point? 80? I'd say it's 81.
Yeah, I think that maybe I'd go 80 and say, will they get to 5? Will they get to 500? I'm being real.
Did you
real
see that
nitpicky.
chat?
Okay, I mean, we're talking what's a fine line here. I mean, it's a pretty big deal.
That's fair.
When you're talking. There's only 82 games left, so I mean, let's see what the projection is right now at this moment. I'm gonna guess the projection's like 79.
I think 81 is the number in my mind that seems right. It's like, okay, if they're gonna be right around 81, which is unbelievable.
Current projection on Fangraphs, swear I didn't look, is 79.
Yeah, look at that.
I got the Fangraph shirt on too. I mean, it's just
I know. You're
the synergy.
Fangraph Nick, Fangraph Kirby. All right. I don't know if there's anything. I don't know if there's anything left to add. Chad, if you have anything that you want to talk about, by all means, let it rip right now. But the truth is, again, I just want to reiterate: like the stream if you haven't already. Like the stream if you haven't already. Thank you for watching this show. We are live each and every night after the game, and it's a blessing to be able to do a show with all of you. We started the show on opening day. We had 30 people watch, and by God, me and Nick were fired up about that. I don't know how it's gotten to this point. I think the winning streak obviously has a large part of a lot to do with that. Where Nick is very, 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 very prepared, passionate, all the types of things that you could possibly be in the show. I come in here and I rant, say dumb shit all the time. You guys put up with me. I think there's times where I bring up a decent point, but I just want to say thank you. We do have Nicolas Cage pillows, and we do have dunks. I know that kind of went away for a minute, but that still is a thing. I'm probably going to get in trouble tonight. This is 12:10 Eastern Standard, and I'm going to rip the roll down. Nick, if you don't have anything left to say outside of who, what, when, and where before we get to your pillow, of course, as I forgot, MILB. Run us through some MILB, Nick.
Well, Reds MLBs have been on a hiatus. The Dragons were supposed to play tonight, but they were postponed due to air quality concerns in West Michigan. So not exactly sure what that was. But a lot of teams have been off. They're always off Monday. A lot of teams are off Tuesday because they're going to play all the way through the July 4th weekend. So they got an extra day off. So they're playing on the 3rd on Monday and the 4th on Tuesday. Obviously, helps those teams with their attendance and whatnot. But Louisville, they'll be taking on the Pirates affiliate, Indianapolis, and LV Marte be making his debut Wednesday. Connor Phillips making his debut this week. So Louisville all of a sudden becomes a really interesting team. Chattanooga, who just clinched, doesn't really become an interesting team because they really don't have a lot of good players left. But we'll keep tracking that every day. Tomorrow, we've got Luke Weaver and Kyle Gibson. Reds somehow keep winning. Luke Weaver starts. So he pitched on Friday night.
I can't wait to do my Luke Weaver tweet.
Yeah, it's just put it in the drafts. 10.80 ERA in June, 9 walks and 11 Ks and 16.2 innings. Luke, I hope you got that magic in you. He's got to have a good start, right, Trace? He's got to have a good start coming. He's never faced the Orioles in his career. Adam Frazier, 3 for 10, double. He's the only active Oriole to face Mr. Weaver. And Reds will be going up against Kyle Gibson. Good news, Kyle's coming off his worst outing of the year. In a 13-1 loss to the Mariners, 3 innings pitched, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. His only career start against the Reds came actually last year at Great American Ballpark. Did pitch pretty well, 6 innings, 3 earned runs, no walks, and 11 strikeouts. But he's given up 2 home runs to Jake Fraley, and he's given up a home run to Jonathan India. Active Reds have a 989 OPS against Kyle Gibson. So, Kyle, they're coming for you.
That they are. DG, hopefully you're still in the chat, DG. I haven't forgot about you. Thank you for the super chat. He said he's flying to Baltimore tomorrow for a reason unrelated to the Reds. Pack my rain jacket based on recent trends. Appreciate the show, guys. 1 of 162. It is. It's 1 of 162, isn't it? Hopefully it's more than 1 of 162, though. At some point, we might start thinking about that. I mean, 1 of 162 is accurate. But the way this Reds team's been playing, we might have more than 162. That would be kind of cool. I would sneak off to the game if you can. DG, why not? Get yourself over there. Find a way. Dreamweaver. You don't want to miss a Dreamweaver start. Those are electric. I will have my Luke Weaver draft or tweet drafted. Actually, probably we'll just schedule it. What time should I schedule it for? What time should I schedule it for, Nick? You think I'm just going to have it automatically go out?
Well, we're going to be in another rain delay. I've
That's
got a
true.
rain delay twice, so you really...
Yeah, maybe that's
everything's
a bad idea.
on. I mean, I'd say if we're gambling, I'm going to say about 8:13 p.m.
Okay. 8:13. I'll remember. I'm going to put that in the draft tonight. Schedule it. I'm actually just going to schedule it. It's going to pop up on randomly.
Luke's got a perfect game going.
Yeah.
Trace.
I was going to say 4. Well, I don't even remember what the tweet is, but it's there's some people that still like humor. I appreciate that out of them.
One more real point before we get stupid.
What?
How about, look, we talked about the Reds coming off this win streak. Thing you couldn't avoid is a long losing streak. And 3 to 4, that it starts snowballing. And so I think this was a huge win for the Reds tonight, just in that regard. Because really, the Reds got to play 500 baseball the rest of the season, and they're going to be in the playoff conversation more likely than not. So
Yes.
Huge win for the Reds tonight. Man, you win tomorrow. You just split a series against the Braves and the Orioles, 2 of the better teams in baseball. That's a big deal.
Couldn't agree more. Let's see the pillow, Nick. You get that thing ready. Let's see it.
Mr. Cage has been
here we go.
He's been
He's
sad.
back.
Tell a
He's
friend.
back.
Don't tell a friend about this.
He's back. All right, you know what else is back? I am back to dunking basketballs. And I just want to say again, thank you for watching this dumb show. Because that's what it is. It's a dumb show. We're going to do it, though, every single night after a Reds win and or a Reds loss. But on the Reds wins, we dunk basketballs. That's what we do. To be frank with you, I made a mistake. I don't know where the basketball is right now. I'm going to have to find it. I'm going to have to find it fast. But as always, I want to tell you, thank you for watching the show. We love you. Like the stream if you haven't already. Tell a friend. Go leave us a review. All those fun things. You've heard us say it 1,000 times. But now, till the end of the show, much love to you. Time to dunk a basketball.